Hello everyone, Magdalena here, Wolf of Coins. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I will be making episode 2 of Tarot de Marseille Major Arcana pairs. So it will be number 2 and number 12. So La Papesse and Le Pendu. So I wanted to thank you all for watching the previous video and commenting, and all of you who sent me all those words of encouragement. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. I also meant to make this video earlier, but alas, I got sick and I was laying in bed with fever for a couple of days. So I'm recording now, and we will start with the Papesse. This is again the Pierre Mandini tarot, and I will be showing a couple more decks today because why not? It's fun. So let's start. So for me, the Papesse is a secret keeper because she has this veil here, and the card can mean that some things are hidden from our sight. There is some secret going on, and she's also the high priestess, and like she's the most knowledgeable one. She has the most experience. She has, I would say, she has the wisdom of the mature age. So, she would be this like a learned woman. As number 2, she represents balance, and also it's not a dynamic number, so it might represent lack of movement. Like we had this one in the Magician, we had this one, and it had all those possibilities, and then we stand on the other leg, and we get more stable. So that would be it. And also she's seated, right? As opposed to the Magician. And she's like, just looked her. She's just looked up from her reading. She's a busy person. And she's contemplating, thinking things over. She doesn't really act. She's in this process, of probably, digesting. And she just is after the active Magician. She is this balancing force. As for archetypes, she reminds me of Hildegard of Bingen, a learned woman of the church. You have probably heard about her, and then the book is and the church topic is very connected to that person. Her tiara is a triple one, like it has 3 levels, 1, 2, 3, so it's the same as the Pope's. You can see it's just like only the details are different, but it is a tiara of a Pope, right? The triple one. And she is also like the Pope. She is also a messenger of the divine, but she's not the teacher like the Pope, because you see he has some disciples here, down here. He's like teaching. I would say that she's more like an oracle, like ancient times Sibylla or Greek Pythia. So she is sharing her wisdom in covered place. So we have this veil here, right? Like in a cave, for example, like the Sibylla and Pythia would. And she speaks only when she is asked. And she's a patient person. So now I will talk about something that some sensitive people might not find appropriate. So if you're one, then please skip a couple of minutes. But there is a thing I wanted to say, because in the old days when eclectic tarot was still really active forum, and it still existed, I read some fascinating articles on Tarot de Marseille. There was this thing about this card. Well, there was so many discussions on all cards, but about this card I remember very well. Well, the penis thing. So once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So now you decide if you want to see it. If not, please skip a bit. And if you're all right with it, let's go on. So there's this theory that we actually have a penis on this card, and it's right here. It's right here. It's flesh colored. It has the shape, and for some reason it crosses the chest of the Papesse. And yeah, I mean, it's not like that in all decks. For example, this is Jean Dodal. It's not like that, but in some decks, like Pierre Madeny, or I suppose in Conver as well, because we have here the Conver Bendoff's one. Can you even see the veins? Man. And this is Pablo Robledo. Yeah, it's there. It's just there. We could think about it as like 2 being 1 plus 1. So it combines the opposites. There's a woman, but there is this penis there. And also we can think about other archetypes. So, for example, again, it would be Cybele, who was believed, like in the lore, she at first was hermaphroditic. We can think about bearded Ishtar. If you want to know more about it, I recommend you read Joseph and His Brothers by Thomas Mann. Also, we read about one of the versions of how the world was, not the world, how humans were created by Greek gods. They were created like both male and female together, I suppose back to back. And at some point, God Zeus ripped them apart. He separated them, and that's why we are all the time searching for our other half. So yeah, that too. But if we go to the east, we see the Japanese goddess Kannon, who is the Japanese version of Kuan Yin. She appears on many paintings, both with breasts and mustache. And lastly, last but not least, it can allude to the famous Papesse Joan, legendary, I should say, legendary Papesse Joan, who had to dress up as a man to become a pope. So yeah, that's a digression. But yeah, I mean, we're analyzing what we see in the cards. And if we see that, well, we see that. So yeah, that's the Papesse. And then we go to the Hanged Man. And yeah, this is a weird numbering, because normally in Roman numerals you would get 10 and then 2. In Madeny it's like this, but it's also like this in Jean Dodal. So it happens, obviously. And this is an image of a criminal. Traditionally, it was an image of a traitor. I suppose in old times in Italy, they had this to show to people in the city that somebody was a traitor. They would create such an image on the wall of somebody hanged by their foot. And in some decks, he even has bags of coins to mark his betrayal. Like, for example, I forgot to prepare it, but for example, in the Visconti deck, he has those bags, and this is to show his betrayal, and that would remind us of Judas, who not only betrayed. Oh no, sorry, it's not this one. I thought it was in this Visconti. It's in a different Visconti. I'll search for that then. Oh, come on. And then it turns out I saw it somewhere else. However, where was I? So Judas not only sold Jesus for coins, but he also afterwards hung himself. So this image can remind us of that story. Oh, come on, hangman, where are you? Man, I knew it. He also hasn't the bags. Which one has the bags? Now I'm confused, but believe me, there are some older decks where he does have them. Anyway, I showed you some other cards. So yeah, Judas hung himself, but he, this one is hanging upside down by his foot. And this might remind us of Saint Peter, who also, in a way, betrayed his master, right? 3 times. So we also see, like, we can see many connections here, which is fun. This card can mean a situation when our hands are tied, because as we can see, his not only his foot is tied, but also his hands are tied behind his back. In some decks we even get like these hands sticking from behind his back, so it's in a really awkward position. Some people even interpret these as wings. Only, by the way. And here he has his tongue out. But yeah, so we are stuck. We cannot act. We can be trapped in our suffering, right? Because it's not a nice situation to be in. Let's be honest. It must be awful. So we can be trapped in our suffering. We are being punished and alone. Also, it can suggest a situation when things are upside down. They are different to our familiar realities. So we have to deal with this change. Some people see this man as an image of a fetus, because he is upside down, and this could be like the birth canal, so he would be going head first to be born. And this cord here would be the umbilical cord. So in this case, we are postponing making decisions. We are waiting for our ideas to mature so that they can be born in the right time. And again, this is number 2. So instead of acting, we are waiting. We need to wait for something. So other archetypes, well, he's supposedly a man. We could say he's a man, telling from his outfit at least. But if we disregard it, we can also think about other fitting archetypes of so-called hanged goddesses, such as Hera, Artemis, Phaedra, who was sister of Ariadne of Crete, and Helen of Troy. It's probable that the goddesses were being worshipped by girls through ritual swinging on a swing. And yeah, he could swing here, because this rope could swing. And of course, in mythology we get, for example, Helen of Troy, she hung herself, so she killed herself, but there are reasons to suspect that it was only like a remnant of this custom of swinging, and also of putting images of the goddess somewhere, like hanging them, so they could swing and bless in this way. Anyway, so we can get an unconventional thinking because of the upside down world, and arriving at solutions in a different way than the mainstream way. So finally, let's talk about them together. So they both seem to be on the opposite sides of the spectrum in many regards, because she's on the top of the hierarchy, right? And he's at the bottom. He's a punished criminal, an outlaw, so they are, you know, more like this, right? And she doesn't wish to act, and he cannot, even if he wanted to act, he cannot act because he is bound. What's interesting, we can also see her hands, and we cannot see his unless it's a deck like this, but we're also not sure if it's hands. We cannot see her feet, but we can see his feet. But we cannot see her hair, and we can see his hair. So even though they're like on the opposite sides of the spectrum, we still see similarities in this inaction. There are just different types of not acting, right? So I find this interesting. And now I also I want to talk a bit about similarities to other cards with the Hangman. And there will be quite a lot of it. So for example, and this is what I wanted to show to you, that you can find connections in different cards, that this whole deck is interlinked with itself. Like different cards are interlinked, and we can always find some similarities and links, and they can aid us in our readings to understand what is the connection, what is changing, what is similar but different, and how. So let's look at the creatures from the Devil card. So they also have their hands behind their backs, like he does. So it can be a similar meaning of not being able to do anything in the given situation, being bound, right? They have those collars here, they are bound, and also their hands are behind their backs. They cannot act in this case. Then if we look at these droplets here, in some decks they're even more pronounced, like better visible. They resemble in shape a little bit these droplets from the Sun and the Moon cards. Some of them are red, but they are upside down. I mean, the direction of the droplets is upside down if we compare it to these, just like the Hanged Man is upside down. So this is interesting, and it can lead to some ideas. Then if we look at the World card, you will see, can you see it? Can you see it? Okay, so the pose of the Hanged Man is like upside down a world card figure. And if we think about it, it's 12 and 21 also, so they are mirroring each other, which is kind of cool. And while he is bound, she is free and triumphant. Also, he is clothed and she is proudly naked. And lastly, we can also look at the Emperor and his legs. The position of the legs is similar. Even in case of this deck, most of the colors are similar. I don't know if you can tell, but this leg is green, this is navy blue. But yeah, the leg position is similar, but the Emperor has a leg in front and the Hanged Man in the back. So again, they are in different situations. He has this leg in front, so it might mean he is able to act, and he has it in the back, so he is helpless. He cannot act. And again, they are on opposite sides of the hierarchy. He's on the top and he's on the bottom, dangling there. So I hope you've enjoyed. I'm planning to continue with the series. I don't know how much time it will take me. I will have to work on my notes. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, your own ideas, I loved what you wrote under video number 1 about strength and the magician. It was great. So please share all your thoughts. And if you enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button or a thumbs up, or leave me a comment, anything. It will make me happy. So thank you so much for watching, and see you again soon. Bye. I've got you, you Judas. This is Rosenwald Tarot. But I think I saw him somewhere else. If you can enlighten me where he also appears with the bags of coins, I will be grateful. Thank you again. Bye.